confirm it's recording.
Yeah.
Can you, are you still on there, Jean?
She-
I'm
she's-
here.
Great. And you're going to take minutes, correct? Great. Okay. Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. We'll appoint Susan Brown as a voting member this evening. And we'll, let's record the attendance. We'll start with you, Jean.
Jean Belgrosky Hinshaw,
Peter Hurst. Tom Claus, present. Ed Rippey, present.
Susan Brown present.
Shirley Green, present. And as I was just saying, we are going to skip the minutes tonight and do them in our next meeting. There's a lot of spelling errors and other errors, like we just talked about the trail budget, not the whole budget, and that's in here incorrectly. So anyways, if anyone has any errors they want to, if they found, please send them to me because I'm gonna meet with, thank you.
I'll give you.
I'm gonna meet with Rob.
You got enough email to open his hard copy.
Thank you.
And that, I kind of stopped. I did a few. Some of it was,
There probably some that I've got too.
you're probably
I'm
almost.
sure, because I have a lot of them. Is there any, so we'll go on to public comments. Kurt, would you have something you want to share tonight?
Yes, it's three things I just want to mention. One, I want to thank you folks for continuing with the Class 6 roads projects. I saw the select board meeting when you folks spoke on that, on doing the signage and working with the outside groups, hopefully to do some work there.
Mhm.
And if you do contact some groups and they're in agreement, I have some culverts, small culverts, not very big, but 6-8 inch, that might be useful.
Mhm.
They're just sitting in my yard forever and I don't need them, so.
I'd like to get rid of them, actually.
Yeah. And the other question I have is regarding the Boy Scout projects, the Eagle Scout projects. He indicated, and the minutes indicated, that he wants to put the benches along the collect trail. Now, there's a collect trail, which is on private property, but has an easement with the Upper Valley Land Trust. That follows the Bicknell Brook Trail, Bicknell Brook, from Crystal Lake. And you go upstream to where it joins with the Grafton Pond town property, Bicknell Brook Trail.
Mhm.
Now, there's two separate trails. One's on private property, the collect trail, and the other is on town property, the Grafton Pond lots, which is
Okay.
formerly called the Bicknell Brook Trail.
Oh, so it'd be-
I don't know if this young gentleman is aware of the difference.
Yeah.
Or where he never stated where those benches were going to be placed,
Mhm.
other than along Bicknell Brook.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Bicknell Brook goes from Crystal Lake past Grafton Pond Road,
Mhm.
so,
Yeah, it's a long distance.
yeah, but it's where along the brook is he thinking? And is he just confused with the name of the trail?
Mhm.
Or is he seriously means the section that's on private property?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we'd have to check on that to see if he could. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a good thing to clarify.
I would think that the best thing to do would be to call the scoutmaster and tell him it has to be
That's what
called.
I'll
Yeah,
find what we need to.
call the scoutmaster and say, this has gotta be straightened out.
Yeah.
With maybe ask the kid for a map.
Kurt, could you email me the where, what you just said about where the trails, the
Yeah.
private area is, and so can
Yeah.
you do that?
I would say we don't want it on private areas.
Well, we don't know. We'd have to check,
Okay.
it would mean he'd have to check into that
Yeah.
to see if it was okay.
Right, I
Yeah.
mean, the town can't grant permission for someone to put
No,
something on someone else's property,
Exactly.
right,
so.
yeah, we'll have to find out. So if you'd please email me where that private is and where the town is,
Yeah.
it'd be helpful in talking with the scout.
Shirley, according to the town map,
Mhm.
which I would think would be the official part of it, the left trail goes from the lake all the way up to a point across Boys Camp Road,
Right,
up to a point where there's a loop. And that loop is what the Bicknell Brook Trail is.
Correct.
Mhm.
That's the
And-
official big no.
And I believe the loop, you lose the Bicknell Brook anyways.
No,
Which is kind of-
there is a section that
There is a section on that loop.
Carol.
Cause I've done the whole thing, and I know that most of the collect trail, if not all of it, goes along.
Yes.
Bicknell Brook.
Yes,
But the loop, there's at least half the loop is even close to.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Point of information, Shirley,
yeah,
are we sure that the terms of the easement over the private segment would prohibit building a bench?
we don't know.
Or-
We have to check into it.
He'll have to check into it. The thing to do, I think, Shirley, is go to the scoutmaster, tell them this has to be fixed, and then they have to come back
But it-
and explain it to us.
does the Conservation Commission hold the easement?
The other map shows.
No.
Oh,
Up the
who
valley.
holds the- who holds the
No,
easement?
no, but
But,
if we
I
have to
will get-
approve it, then we gotta tell them that they gotta come back with a map of what they're gonna do.
I will check into it and find out what needs to be done.
Can I ask
Good catch, though.
who holds the
Yeah.
easement?
Pardon me,
Who holds the easement?
the Upper Valley.
the Upper Valley Land Trust.
Okay, could they tell us whether or not,
Well, we first gotta find out where he's planning to put the benches and then see where we can go from there.
You don't know where he's gonna put the benches.
Yeah,
No, because,
they may be they might be totally aware of this information.
right, yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't mentioned, so we'll find out there.
And there's
Start at the
this here
beginning
too.
and-
so we couldn't even approve it if it allowed it, cause we don't hold the easement.
Right,
Right. no.
Yeah.
we can only guide him to know what he needs to do.
Thank you.
just one other comment I'd like to ask if.
Yeah. Sure.
Is there any interest, I don't know if any of you folks have, gone to the Harris Brook Trail?
Mhm.
That's up Maple or May Street, I never remember which one's which. It's physically located in Canaan, but it's the old Enfield Reservoir.
Okay.
Yep.
And several years ago, you folks, had a nice parking lot installed. And you walk across an easement to where the actual reservoir is, and the trail goes around the perimeter of the reservoir. There is no signage stating, this is the parking lot. And once you find the parking lot, there's no signage saying, this is where the trail is. And you have to go through this field, and there's a house right there that you see.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
And
about.
then you have to turn up what looks like a driveway, and then you come to a gate. And then you go up the access road to the reservoir, and there's no signs anywhere.
What?
So, the select board will have to go through that whole process again. But if you folks are interested in, like, doing a site walk and going up there and like, where do I go? And then say, okay, we need a sign here, here, and here. And then go to the select board and say, we would like to do something about this. It's a beautiful walk.
Yeah,
You know,
it is nice.
Yeah, it's a really nice walk.
But did you say it's in Canaan?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where the
Right on the
reservoir was
border.
located, Yeah,
It's over the line, yeah.
yeah,
So if
the
it's-
town owns the property, but it's physically located in Canaan.
We own the property, but it's.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Really?
Because, when the water system was put in, turn of the century, that was the water source.
Oh, okay.
They built a dam, ran a pipe down to Enfield,
Mhm.
and
Huh.
hasn't been used for 50 years probably, but as a water source. But the town always kept the property and like 10 years ago, Alan Strickland and a few other folks got together and built a trail around it. And they then proceeded to put in a parking lot that can hold probably 5, 6 cars or more if you
Mhm.
all once and line them up. And it's, like I said, it's a beautiful walk, but it's sort of under the radar.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Is it on the, I know you were one of the authors of the Trails map.
I'm not,
Is it on the Trails map?
think it was done after that map was done. I don't think it appears on that map because
Okay.
the map predates
Same,
the actual trail there.
okay.
Is that a?
Did you bring those in tonight?
It's it's one on the left. You pass the post office and you go on the left-hand side.
Maple Street,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you go out,
and then the
Couple
Canaan
miles.
line is up there.
Yeah,
I think it is, if I remember.
yeah.
I've done it once, and I just remember, like, is this the parking lot? Where's the trail?
Yeah, that's,
Where's Maple Street's not on this road? On here.
It's on the big one. It's up, right up in the upper left corner of the square of Enfield. Maple Street and you see May Street and Maple Street.
Oh, I see Maple Street, yeah.
yeah,
So that's up there where the reservoir is, yeah.
yeah. Our future project some point is to update the trail map and do a digital version or something and
Mhm.
That
there's,
would be good.
there's like 5 trails that have come into existence that are public since that map has been produced, so,
Okay,
but that's another project some other time.
yeah.
So Shirley, the work that Craig does for trail maintenance,
Yeah.
Mhm.
is that, do we have to have that approved by the select board before it's done? Yeah.
No, they've approved him to be the trail master and,
So can we bring this up to him and give him the task to basically mark the trail? Do a better job marking it? I don't.
well, I don't know if Mark can, it would come under maintenance. We'd have to, check with him to see if that would be something that, would come under his, something he'd do. We can. He's used, yeah.
And isn't there also the question of whether it's subject to the approval of the town of,
Yeah,
Canaan.
I don't think so, because you're
Yeah.
putting up new signs.
because we're just a property owner like any
Yeah.
other property owner.
Mhm.
Well, it would be the select board.
The town, I mean, is the property owner, just like any other property
Yeah.
owner, a property that happens to be in Canaan.
Mhm.
So it'd be subject to both the will of the wishes of the property owner and the permission of the other town.
No, the other town has nothing to do with it.
Well, it's within their, it's,
No, it's like you own property in somewhere else. And you wanna put up a sign on
Right.
your property.
assuming there's no town restrictions on putting a sign
Oh,
on
it's Canaan, so there's no restriction.
it. Oh, okay.
You know, really, it's like they can't,
So,
zoning can't tell you, go put up a
I
sign.
get it.
So,
So we'll check into these things and thank you for bringing
Yeah.
them up.
yeah,
And,
Thank you, Peter.
I wasn't aware there was any signs up there. We worked on that for a long time.
That's great. That's good.
in Harrisburg.
yeah.
Maybe there's a reason. We'll see. I'll check with okay. Trails isn't here. Craig isn't here. I put trails on just automatically. Some months he's here and has something to
Mhm.
report.
Yeah.
And, other times he doesn't. And, Jay couldn't be here, and he said, he sent me a report, said there is really nothing to further to report on the school outreach collaboration at this time. And he did say that the Harvest Festival had a lot of guests that came. And went very well. There was 700, we had 700 attendees there. So hopefully you saw a lot of them.
You both spent like 2-3 hours each.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I missed Pete because I was there right at 2 and he must have left just before I got there.
Couple minutes, yeah.
Okay, I just missed you, but it was a good time anyways.
I missed you too.
There were a lot of kids there and they all came to the broom show.
Sure, you God.
Well, we can get together. I also went specifically to talk to the blacksmith who was out of business because of the fire ban.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, thank you for helping.
But we're gonna get to biochar.
Did you have anything
Okay.
to talk to you about? Fire?
On the select board report, let me see, I have it here. I went to their meeting, I think it was September 8th. And, said, I'm reading from their minutes. Shirley Green, Conservation Commission Chair, explained that in November, a member of the public recommended that some Class 6 roads be changed to Class A or Class B trails. Since that time, there has been much discussion and consideration given to the subject. The commission moved to support a 3-point resolution to present to the select board, which recognizes a policy not to convert any Class 6 roads to trails at this time. To determine that it would be beneficial on a limited basis to use signage as notice of additional recreational opportunities on certain Class 6 roads, and to find opportunities to facilitate volunteer efforts to maintain Class 6 roads to protect wetlands and other natural features of interest. And this is, there was consensus on the board for this Class 6 road proposal to move forward as presented. There was agreement to allow local clubs such as the Snowmobile Club to make a list of priorities for the roads that could be presented to, to make a list of priorities for the roads that could be presented to the board via the road agent. So they were all in favor of our points that we made.
Excellent, that's awesome.
Well
Good, that's
done,
good.
Shirley.
I think that's an excellent articulation of the position of this commission, as I understand it too. I
Thank you.
think good presentation.
Thank you.
Well
Yeah.
done.
Okay. Let's see. Kate isn't here and she didn't send me a report on the select board.
Actually, Shirley,
Pardon me?
going back to the Class 6 things, I happened to be coming into the office here and I spent some time talking to Jim Taylor
Mhm.
about the signs. And I brought in that sign that he made up for us that we liked some of it, we didn't like a lot of it. And I gave that to him and told him that who made it.
Mhm.
And I said, I'm willing to work with him if he would like me to help him come up with the signage. So, and I also gave him a copy of this trails map, which he helped create along with you.
Yeah.
And highlighted on it the roads that we said we thought we wanted to have signs on. So he knew.
But you missed a meeting there.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
did make
know.
it,
We're out of it.
pardon me?
We're out of it.
Yeah,
It's all up to them, but
right.
I said,
And we didn't make any decision on a sign or a person.
okay, I thought you just read something about signage that they agreed about it. Or
Yes, but we didn't choose,
choose worded verbiage.
well, we didn't choose that person to do it either.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. And I told him that.
Yeah.
I said, but if he wanted anything, if he wanted any help, I'd be glad to help him. And he was fine with that.
Mhm.
I
But we have
realize
to
it's
speak
out
as
of,
a commission.
it's not, I'm not
Yeah.
representing the commission to do
Yeah.
that. But I wanted to be transparent and let people know that I've spoken to them.
as long as we understand that the actual contracting of the sign is out of our,
Nothing
Out
to
of
do
our
with
hands.
that.
Right.
so you
Absolutely.
made a contribution to one good potential sign maker.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Or of,
Yeah. He's gonna make the decision and I trust him to make the right decision. So.
Mhm. Okay, next on our agenda is new business and we have set a date and time for the biochar presentation with Maddie. And do you have anything you'd like to add to that,
Yeah, I would just like to add,
Peter?
what I intend at that initial presentation
That'd be great.
will roughly be the same presentation I made here a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago now. Subject to any comments which I invite on what might be emphasized, or what might be put off to later presentations, because you remember, this is gonna be a series of 4 presentations, the first of which is just introductory,
Right.
which is why it pretty much parallels the presentation I made to this group. But if there's any particular interest in discussing how that first presentation to the public might be molded or augmented or edited, in any way, I invite those comments over the next couple of weeks. And so the timing of this is such that will we have another meeting before the presentation?
We do,
That
the night
Thursday?
before.
Okay, so yeah, any last minute comments,
Okay.
I can incorporate, and I'm looking forward to a discussion. And that includes everybody on, any interest or further information, clarification, that would be beneficial to our presentation of this concept to the community pretty much for the first time.
And you'll notice I put it in the town newsletter this.
Yes, I
week, too.
did, thank you. Yeah,
And
that
I'll
was,
put it in again, and we should be thinking of ways, putting it on listserv and
Yeah.
advertising. Maddie will have it on the museums.
I should say that one spin that I've already decided to include is much more emphasis on what the potential concrete benefits are for the town with respect to soil conservation, possibly water runoff and great drainage filtration, protection of wetlands, including the lakes,
That's great.
that kind of thing.
Good.
In very practical terms, cleaning up of open burns, increase of soil fertility functions in whatever applications around the town, from, the home gardens to the farms to, public properties.
Yeah, that's great. So many things that so many people can
Yeah.
use and protect
Yeah,
that.
I think there are ways, there are benefits for anyone who has any sort of garden, horticultural, agricultural operation in town, and anyone who does any kind of burning, from seasonal brush burning to outdoor fire pits, even wood stoves, and furnaces, and any other sources of combustion of biomass
Mhm.
that we can think of, contributes to cleaning up the emissions from all of those forms of combustion, and to gaining resources from them, conserving resources. There's no reason so much carbon has to go up into the air when it can go into the ground. So anything that I haven't, thought of or mentioned, I'd be welcome that being brought to my attention.
Yeah.
What I was gonna talk to you about at the booth was the application in gardens.
Yeah.
Personal, and I got pictures of some of my raised beds and things and how I can enrich them with this.
Very important application, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to do it.
Sure.
Go with it.
So let's see. Oh, do you have any materials that go along with it that we might want to?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any materials that go along with it, full pamphlets or anything like that that we might?
You see my computer folders on.
Ah.
on that, yeah, I could produce thousands of pages and thousands of.
Yeah.
of
We
stuff.
might want to have something like that, that people can take with them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Or, and also send,
I,
for
I,
advertising.
I expect, okay, that's, thank you for reminding me of that. That's one thing I could use a lot of help of. I don't really know what the advertising channels available to us are.
education@shakermuseum.org. That's Maddie.
Maddie, well,
Yeah.
we're working
Yeah.
closely with,
You already.
Yeah,
worked with
but if you're going to send something, send it, if you're gonna send her a brochure, it's education@shakermuseum.org.
He's already in touch with Maddie, Susan.
Yeah, okay, well,
Yeah.
that's a
And
good
she's
way.
already offered, she's just
So
waiting.
beyond
for
that-
Yeah,
bring-
to send him send her,
Yeah.
him, for
the,
him.
the
to
town,
her.
the town newsletter, any Upper Valley.
Well, the town newsletter, like I didn't have any, pictures or anything, but
Yeah, you weren't supposed to at that point, because we hadn't decided what the blurb was gonna be
yeah.
yet.
So if you do that and then send some, visuals, that's
How
good,
often does that go out?
once a month. So
Okay, so
it'll go
one
out
more
next
chance.
time, November 1st, a week
Perfect.
before, so that's a good time to have a good,
There's the Enfield, you know about the Enfield listserv, the Upper Valley listserv,
I know about it,
and Vital
there's a
Communities.
mass-
I
Mascoma.
have it forwarded to me, I have not been successful in actually signing on to it.
Mhm.
And then there's the one that I think is actually published from, across the river, but it still covers the upper valley.
Oh, yeah.
Vital Communities,
Daily, what is it? You know the one I'm talking about,
Daily
the
Break.
daily,
Vital
There's quite a few of them.
Communities.
There's Vital Communities and there's, the Upper Valley,
it's like morning news or Daily
Morning Break.
Mail or something like.
what you need to do is get a blurb together to put on those and then we'll,
But there's one out there that doesn't have good information,
then we don't have to worry about that.
and we don't have to worry about it, and it has, and it's like,
Those-
I love that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
a good one. It's a
Yeah.
real good one.
Yeah, it should be, get
So
in all
if
that
anybody
because
has
we'll
a
probably
channel or
draw.
outlet or medium that they think I ought to use,
Cause
that
it'd
hasn't
be
been
nice to
mentioned
draw
yet.
from all the Upper Valley, not
Yeah.
just, Enfield.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Is there
When- when-
anything else that you could, use help with on that, but if you give me a blurb as soon as possible that you'd like to put in for advertisement and some pictures, if you could.
Yeah.
And to Maddie.
And any other ideas anyone has for, oh, could you just talk to this group for 15 minutes? I'd be glad to show up and,
Yeah, I think you'll probably, after your presentation, you'll probably get, lots of people
Yeah.
inquiring for their groups.
so are we gonna get to have a public
Yeah,
presentation
you
for from the
Yeah.
Autobots? That's cool.
That's what I'm bringing up tonight, you see a question mark.
Good.
That's what I wanted to check with you, to see if we can set up a date with Maddie to do a winter one with New Hampshire Audubon and have one of the rodents. Is one of
That
the,
would be excellent.
yeah. Do you hear that?
And there's, and the
Like that.
event center is heated.
That's a perfect combination, but
Yeah, and hopefully,
that's the way to do it.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that'd be a good time to, and, cause I know that we'll be able to do things regularly, which will be nice.
Mhm.
So you'd like we get some dates from Maddie to do that? Is everyone in agreement?
yeah.
Sure.
I don't think we need to vote on that. Consensus, so. When I went to the select board meeting, that night, they were going to do, a review of the resilience workshops and meetings that they've been having with, with Lake Sunapee, Upper Valley Lake Sunapee Regional Commission, I think it is. But anyways, they have a review to show on the resilience program. And they were gonna do it that night. That's too bad, because the Conservation Commission, would be interested in that, because a lot of it is related to conservation and natural resources. Well, they had such a full agenda that night, that they put it off to the next meeting. So that's gonna be on next Monday at the select
Except
board
that,
meeting.
I bet it's gonna be put off again, because you know remember what's happening next Monday? They're gonna talk about selling the firehouse and the ambulance.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody I know, at least everybody on Depot Street's
Well-
gonna be there, and everybody on Union Street's gonna be there. And they all have the most incredible ideas to present. So
But we
I.
don't care, we wanna listen to the resilience.
Yeah, I
But
think that you'll
I
find
encourage-
resilience postponed because the hearing's first.
I don't know, we'll see,
Yeah,
but I hope Conservation
Yeah.
Commission members will be there. Yeah,
Shirley,
Well, I will.
good.
can you say more about how you see our interests overlapping with the resilience project? Because at first, I was very interested in the idea of resilience. And then as I learned more about it, it seemed less and less related to what we're doing and more with an emphasis on emergency response.
Well, that's why I think it's important for us to be there. To see, to be sure, we need to be in place where, because there is certainly a connection to conservation and the resilience. And I wanna hear what they are doing, and we can have recommendations or input to be.
I think there is a tremendous connection too, but I didn't see it reflected in the discussion I've seen on the specific topics of resilience.
Well, let's hope,
So-
this is a review of what they've been doing, so it'll give us a
Okay, so
chance
this is
to
a
see.
sort of
Yeah, it'll give us a chance to see.
informational for us.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So and in their agenda, when that comes out, it'll tell just about when that's gonna be on the agenda too, so you can see
Well,
some.
do the hearings first.
Mhm. Yep.
So that's a 6 p.m. meeting?
Yes.
At the new,
Yes, and
Right, yeah,
everybody
that's
wear
the new
fluffy
office.
clothes because the acoustics in that meeting are just awful. So if you wear, the seats aren't padded, there aren't any curtains.
I'm gonna
So
bring
if everybody
tapestry.
wear your fluffy parkas, that will help.
My wife's quilt.
It's, the acoustics up there are dreadful.
Jean, anytime you have something, don't mind me if I get talking and don't notice if your hand is up or not. So interrupt me. Can you hear me?
Okay, no problem.
Okay, please do that. I'll be happy for you to do that because I get involved when I'm saying and listening and I don't always notice. Whitney used to remind me.
Oh, Whitney.
Oh, don't we miss her?
So, then anyway, we're on to the Conservation Commission role and, we did, as we said, Jean was going to work on the language for it and get it to me and I was going to write it up. But with, Kate gone and Jay tonight, I think we should put that off to the next meeting too, because I think they should have the opportunity to have input on it. And it isn't an urgent thing that we get in. So I hope,
Can we get it sent out to us before the
Yes.
next meeting?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we can see it before, that would be great.
mhm.
Thank you for the work, Jean.
Sure.
Let's see, and I wanted to check, I put this on, you may not have had, there may not be anything to report or not, but I'll put on, a garden collaboration will be on all of our agendas too, Jean. Is there do you have any connections or things to
You know,
report this?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I've reached out to the folks who have been by and large responsive, and I'm going to be trying to get with them and just set a time to sit down and talk and everything. So I can give an update on that. I haven't had all those meetings yet, but I've had emails back and forth.
Right.
And there's general positive, interest in just finding out what we're doing and seeing what we can do to collaborate and things like that.
That's great. I hear, the more I read, I hear about a lot of collaboration in the various towns around us with the gardening and pollinating and so forth. let's see, oh, and the Laramie Farms, site visit. I went on that and, Peter went on it. And, he asked me if I would put it on the agenda because he had a few comments he'd like to make about it.
I have I have questions mainly.
Mhm.
An overall question is whether or not we should be looking at things that might come up in the future that we can investigate and learn about now. And they did come from concerns that I have, but they are really in my mind in the form of questions right now as to should we be looking at this and should we be looking at that? And there's three main areas. One is that of wetlands. There seems to me more wetlands involved and implicated than I had expected. We got information about plans to relocate a brook, build, I believe, 3 significant ponds, and that there were, I'm not quite sure what the term is, minor or less significant wetlands, pretty much all through, particularly the open space, the area that's been clear cut. And one reason that's a question in my mind is I don't quite grasp the New Hampshire concept of minor wetlands versus major wetlands. So I'm wondering if we should look at that, because I have the impression that what they're planning to do may turn minor wetlands into major wetlands, and then what happens? So the wetlands would be my first area of inquiry at this point, is what, if anything, should we be looking at and learning more about? The second one is the question of recovery of the open space. The gentleman from the developer who led the trip and the presentation, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, repeated over and over that the open areas that would be left between the buildings were expected to recover naturally,
Mhm.
which is one of my hot buttons, because it's not natural now. It seems to me to be a very damaged and degraded, low diversity, fairly recent plant community that's moving in after what appears to have been fairly recent clear cutting.
Yeah.
There are some aspens or poplars that are beginning to move into the area, but I noticed virtually no parent trees or seed trees that will contribute to what would naturally be a procession of that area back to eventually mixed pine hemlock hardwood forest. So I have also what is there underneath all of the primarily goldenrod at this point seems to me to be very damaged and disturbed furrows and hummocks and old slash piles that have not been attended to. So I got the impression that he was trying to give us the impression that this was all proceeding naturally and normally to recovery to a healthy ecosystem. And that was not my observation at all. I think it was severely degraded by whatever logging went on there, and just leaving it alone is not going to lead to the kind of recovery that I think we were being given the expectation of. So the question of the recovery of that area, I don't think, based on what I've seen there, will recover naturally in quite the way it was being described to us. The third area of concern I have is that I noticed on the plans that we were sent a few weeks ago, the remaining open space between the clusters of buildings was described as a conservation easement. And as I appreciate the zoning theory of approval for this, it's essentially a cluster zoning idea where we take the quarter acre zoning, the 4 units per acre zoning, move them all into one area and the rest of it remains open space. And that open space, I believe, is designated on the plan as conservation easement, and I don't think those two are consistent. Because if further development is prohibited on the open space because of the zoning regulations and the way the zoning is being complied with, there's nothing left really to put under easement.
I think you have to,
Because it's already required to be open, what does a conservation easement add to that? And the reason I'm concerned about that is because when you call something a conservation easement, that implies the developer expects to get some value back for putting it into a conservation easement. They're essentially transferring development value off of the property to be held in trust to buy a group like this or a nonprofit or some trustee. But if they're already receiving approval for the development based on the zoning requirement that there be no further development on the open space, it seems to me like that they may be asking for something they're not entitled to by receiving some further value for granting an easement.
I'm not sure that the zoning has said they couldn't. I think it's their own decision to have the conservation easement, a lot of the property in conservation easement. I may be wrong, but that's the way, it's been a while since.
Well, this is why I framed my whole discussion, that these are questions that we should look
Right.
into. Because it seems to me that a conservation easement is redundant of what they're receiving by simply the zoning requiring that they have X number of units on Y number of acres. If that's the zoning requirement, then there's nothing to give an easement for because they're already prohibited from any more dense development of the area.
But we don't know. We need. to
I
check.
think.
We don't,
the
I
zoning-
agree.
I'm on the zoning board, Peter.
Okay.
They plan that there will be nothing built where they're saying that that will be a conservation easement. The size of the lot is 77 acres.
Right,
So far as wetlands go, they came to us and there is an emergency road off Maple Street. And there is a place where that road will go over a wetland with a culvert. So we gave them permission. It's a puddle. It's not a big thing. And we approved, you know, that's an emergency road,
mhm.
so it's not gonna damage that little bitty wetland. I,
We,
I've sat on all those zoning board meetings and I've listened to them. He has done, DiPotetto has done everything that the zoning board asked him to do. And he's done it thoroughly and willingly. And he's brought us huge pictures. Everybody got a set of those sized plans. They are working so hard to do what we want them to do as a community and as a good developer and to add to the town, that I think that I appreciate the way they've approached this. They're gonna paint them brown and green so they can't be seen. You know,
We're,
that
I-
they're really working hard to do a good job.
there's,
I appreciate that, and I'm not, I don't intend to make this a criticism
question.
of what's going on. It's just a
Yeah.
question as to a zoning requirement that requires them to keep it in open space?
There isn't, is there?
Well, they have a,
Well,
They
They
have
they can come
volunteered
back
to
and
do
build
that.
some more if they wanted to,
Yeah.
but they don't want to.
but they have a certain density requirement, don't they? Isn't the,
I don't think so. Why don't you go get the zoning board minutes from Rob about this, because they are
Thank-
thorough and lengthy.
that would be a good start. So maybe my understanding of the zoning in that area is not correct. But as I understand, the zoning is 4 units per acre in that area. Is that right?
What we changed, because it's seven, started out, you can only have one building per lot in that district. And they got 77 acres.
Right.
So we've made some changes for them. We've granted some variances and some special exceptions so that he can build his clustered development.
Exactly. I understand that. And that cluster, the ratio of units to the whole 77 acres is almost exactly four units to an acre.
I don't, we never talked about that. It never came up.
Okay.
I
It's something they're
apologize for
proposing.
leaving, but it's
Uh,
my granddaughter's 16th birthday and she's opening her package in Australia and I'm gonna join her.
I don't blame you. I just
Uh,
want to back up a little bit what you're saying there. The three of us went and site visited
Yeah,
some of
that's
the
what I was
projects
trying to say.
that they have done,
Yeah,
and they were very transparent with us. And, we busted their chops. We asked them important questions
They
and their answers were good.
They showed us a visit,
Yeah.
of development that's 20 years old. And they showed us one that was 10 years old, and then we saw one that they're working on now. And the 10 and the 20 and you can tell the one they're working on now is definitely going to be all wooded. I mean, it looked very natural, all
Yeah.
the ones we saw. And we were very glad we went because I did not picture these developments would look like that, did you?
No, I was.
No.
Very,
And
very
all
tasteful.
right, well, let me say this, Susan, before you leave, thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, I
That's
think
very.
it was great to have you here so you can do that.
If they come to the zoning board again, we'll let you know, you can come listen.
Well,
But
they're
I
gonna
think
be
pretty well
planning
set
board,
with the zoning board.
they're gonna be planning board meetings. There's one coming up next week. Regularly now, it's gonna be before the planning board for probably 7, 8, who knows how many meetings. And to get questions answered, that's a great place to go.
But I think
And we
will see
with
if
the
you
zoning-
talk to them, how hard they're trying
With the
to do
zoning,
it. And make it look good and be a good part of the community. I think they really are working hard at that and
the
it
con-
impresses me.
The Conservation Commission was part of the zoning. After we made our site visit, we made a recommendation as to what we thought to the zoning board. And we will come back when they apply. They haven't even gone to DES yet. That's after they go through the planning board.
Okay,
When they put their application into DES, DES will be looking for us to have input again.
okay. Well,
So,
Susan
and it will
Susan
be on-
has answered a lot of the questions I
Yeah.
had, but the one that remains is, in my mind, is I think we need to know more about what they mean by a conservation easement, what that would look like.
They want the same idea as anyone would put their property in to conservation.
I understand that.
Talking about
What
going
this-
to the Upper
this
Bentley Land
particular-
Trust.
What would this particular land look like? Because I do have serious concerns about if the land is simply left to recover on its own,
Mhm.
the way, which was the impression I got from the presentation when we did the walkthrough.
Mhm.
That's very different from it actually restoring
Well,
itself to a natural
Some
state.
of this is nowadays gonna be touched in the beginning. I mean, they have 77 acres. They're building on a small amount of that 77 acres.
Yes, but
Yeah.
anybody that's ever seen
I think you have some legitimate,
Yeah.
you bring up some very good points and I think just hold them. keep them written down somewhere.
go-
because-
Let me just leave it at that then, that,
You do. I mean, I
that
think
these,
it's a good
that these
question.
questions, to me, these questions remain.
I think
Oh,
they're
they're good.
very good. They're good
There are
questions.
questions
They're
that
very
we
good
should be
questions. I
asking,
wanna-
that the Conservation Commission should be concerned with.
I
Thank
want
Yeah.
to jump in and support your number two on the recovery of the clear cut
Yeah,
and the necessity of getting decent hardwood and pine trees and things in there. Maybe part of the plan will include them making sure that they seed those
It
things.
may be already in
no,
there.
I don't know what the answer is, and I'm not expecting an answer now, but
But
if we can keep
ask.
the inquiry open, that, I
Right.
think that's important.
Yeah,
Thank
And
you.
no,
try
it's
to
a
go
good- it's a
to
good-
as many of
it's a
those
good question.
planning board meetings as you can. 'Cause
And they're
that's gonna
very
be-
open to suggestions.
They are.
So if you mention that, and just say, we as the Conservation Commission recommend that you replant, because letting it go to try to naturally regrow, you're not gonna get some of the native species that were there.
I'm also
And-
encouraged to know that you have this other experience of looking at
No, yeah.
other developments.
No, and they had recovered, like we saw the 20-year development.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it had recovered.
yeah, see,
So-
they can't be,
It was-
responsible for what those people did with the clear cutting. They may be gonna do something with that.
No, but if they're talking about recovery
Yeah,
and restoration,
right,
that has a very specific meaning that the people that were there before them did not
right.
obviously speak to or appreciate.
Shirley, can we have to adjourn because we don't have, do we still have a quorum?
Pardon?
Oh,
Oh,
2, 3.
there's four of us.
4 out of 7. We're still.
Four, we're still,
We are still okay, okay.
Yeah,
I just
we
wanna-
can't count Jean,
Right,
we
we can't.
can't count anyone online,
Okay,
but we have a quorum present.
okay.
Yeah.
I was just concerned that when she left, it all of a sudden we kept to the point where.
But when I leave.
But I
We
think
didn't
we're
mean to sound like we can't count you, Jean. You're a big
Okay.
part of it. Jean has a.
Here's a question.
Shirley, thank
I
you
have-
for the time spent on this. I appreciate
Oh, it's well worth.
I-
It's good.
I would
Sorry,
only
Jean.
like to, sorry, I think these are reasonable questions, and even if they've been answered to one group, I think that I would like to hear the answers and see the plans. I don't think there's anything wrong with asking, and it doesn't take anything away from the fact that they're working hard. But,
Right.
you know,
Thank you.
job. So I think if you don't mind kind of framing up these questions in your words based on your very thoughtful kind of visit and analysis and things, I think, we should put those in the notes or the minutes, and then when the time comes, we'll be ready.
Right, because we will have to be able to put in formal
That's my
And-
main concern, that when the
Yeah.
time comes,
with the DES,
will we be ready? Will we be?
right?
Right?
In,
And the
Yeah.
other thing is maybe we can, what happens sometimes is once it goes to another committee or it's getting ready to final approval, it's sometimes harder to bring up brand new questions at the time. And I know that maybe there's a process whereby that's the only time we can bring up questions, but I think if we have them documented and, to the satisfaction of your wording, because I'm taking notes, but I'd love to have it in your words, then we can maybe be a little preemptive or get the questions to them. Maybe they've got a great answer, or maybe it will give them rise to think about something that they left maybe undone at this point, and they can add that to their presentation to DES. So I unless there's some reason for us to not be kind of proactive here, I think it's a good idea, because sometimes when you bring something up when everybody's ready to press the go button, it can be more difficult.
well, see, this is our time to be asking questions and finding out the answers before their last step will be with DES, and that's when we will have put in our recommendation.
Exactly my concern. Thank you.
Yeah, we gotta get them
Yeah.
in.
Hard to-
But we need to do our homework and attend these meetings and ask questions too.
Fair point.
So does anyone else have any comments? I think those are very good things for all of them, for us to be considering, Peter. It's good.
Do you remember when we did that site visit?
The date,
Dates, yeah,
I can look it up. It'd be in our minutes.
yeah,
Yeah, we had to have minutes of it.
cause
I think it was around October, November.
of 24,
Was it? Yeah.
or was it
I would
longer
say,
ago?
yeah, 24.
Because we took pictures and I'm looking through my photos here, seeing if I can find some of the restoration.
Oh.
I think I tried to get
Because
pictures.
there was there were good things, we had seen before sometimes where culverts are put in where for passing, where animals can't really pass.
Mhm.
Or fish.
Mhm.
And there was all of the questions that we had that day, they were able to answer, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen from meetings I've been to, how they have adapted and changed a lot of their plans because of discussion and questions.
They showed us the culverts.
Pardon me?
They showed us
Yes.
the
Yeah,
culverts.
yeah,
so
we
we
got
could
pictures.
see.
Yeah, a lot of animals.
Yeah, we got pictures.
September 24th was the date of the visit.
September
How
24th.
did you know that?
No, of the visit we just did up.
Oh, for
Yeah, yeah.
the site visit.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
We're talking about when we
We
visited.
went,
The
we
other
went down
sites.
to Massachusetts and southern New Hampshire. to
Oh,
see some
okay.
of the
All right.
different-
And they spent the day with us
They did. They spent the whole
Yes.
day with us.
yeah.
Where was I?
You
That
went
was
on the
before you were on the
commission
board.
then.
Well, we're talking almost a year ago.
Yeah,
Oh,
When did you join?
Almost a year ago.
couple months ago.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so you weren't even. on
No,
the
Yeah.
no, you wouldn't even work. They made a whole presentation to the Conservation
Oh,
Commission.
I wish I.
Oh, yeah,
I
they
wish I'd
spent a
shown-
lot of
I
time.
mean, it was almost a full meeting was their presentation, of which we were able to answer some questions.
Yep.
But we were all kind of caught blindsided because we didn't expect to be at that level at that time.
Right.
Right,
So, I mean, they are gonna be coming in front of the Conservation Commission again. So, right, Shirley, I believe they have to.
They've already come twice.
yeah, I don't know if they will be coming before us again. It's up to
No.
us to, when they apply,
Hey.
yes, that's when we'll be asked for our input.
But I think Gene's right. Let's be proactive. If we can get these questions to them, I bet you they'll
Mhm.
come back with answers.
Yep, and they've always been willing to, we can
Think-
send
Oh, shoot.
questions to them.
I think this is a photo of some of the restoration. It's got some decent tree. I don't know if you can identify what kind of tree that is from the bark. I'm a leaf guy. I can tell from leaves, but.
It's hard to, I'd like to see before and after pictures, but
Yeah.
that looks okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And they said, it was 20 years ago and these trees probably 20.
It was
years old.
clear cut 20 years before this
Yeah,
picture.
yeah,
I don't know if it was clear cut.
yeah, I don't,
I'm pretty sure though they said they replanted.
yeah.
If I recall, I'm not sure they said they replanted with the natural
There's a shot of,
vegetation in the area.
there's a shot of one of the culverts.
yeah,
One of the animal quarters.
Yeah.
yeah, because there's different ways to put them in.
All right, so that really satisfies my present concerns that all of this information is available and
Mhm. And
we
then
can
they're,
reasonably expect.
and they're very willing to, answer questions,
Great.
and they're willing to change things.
I got your question, yes, I do. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, you did go around it.
One of the big things they
Yeah.
talked about,
Print them up here.
I went to the meeting that night at the 6:30 meeting after the site visit, and, the room was full for public.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And one of the things, I guess, and I hadn't heard this, but they have talked about balloons. So that the height, the size of the buildings, so that people can tell how much they will show. And so that's a possibility too.
Huh.
That will be done. I'd never heard of that being done before, but that's a possibility. Because that could alleviate a lot of people's concern, or it could make them more concerned, if they see how much these balloons are visible from, because they were concerned about how the skyline. too.
Sure.
A lot of people are. That isn't something we would, Conservation Commission, DES will expect us to talk about, to have input on things specific, like the questions you asked tonight, those
That was my next
Specific.
question is whether,
to conservation, and those are the things we wouldn't, we won't, well, we could have some input on stuff, things that affected by runoff and stuff too.
Yeah,
But this coming up meeting is mainly gonna be on the road access,
okay.
yeah.
which is
But
gonna
that
be,
you
it's a
raise
very
a
good,
question that I've had is to what extent is view and
Yeah,
aesthetics
Well,
considered a
people are-
conservation value.
either try to come to meetings or attend by Zoom, because they're gonna be long meetings and a lot of questions and input.
But are those considered conservation values?
The,
Views
Well-
and
it,
visual impact,
it would depend, we'd have to decide, what,
like light pollution, for instance,
mhm.
just as an
Yeah.
example.
You can
It's
find,
something that not a lot
you
of people
can,
consider, but it's,
lots of times find a connection to almost everything for natural resources. But, DES may ask us for specific areas too.
But then I can, want our input about traffic patterns and stuff like that. That's out of our jurisdiction.
And there'll be plenty of input on
I'm,
that.
I'm feeling my way with respect to where those lines are. As you may-
It is confusing.
you
Yeah.
can Imagine, yeah.
I've been a member too.
Because I'm with John Muir, who said, you find that when you tug on one thing, it's connected to everything else in the universe.
Have you been to the Muir Woods? I visited that one. Beautiful place. But anyways, yeah, this is good conversation. I'm glad it's good for us to be where it's really getting in gear again, to be really involved and know what's happening.
Thank you.
Is there any other comments?
Nope.
How about other business? Any other business?
That sucks.
And I guess we're ready to adjourn.
Yes,
My goodness.
Yes. Hey, we had a baseball game.
I wanna watch that.
Let's, we better adjourn officially.
No.
I move that we adjourn.
It's not here.
Second,
Okay, we'd have to say our names. Jean, go ahead.
Jean Balgrasky Hinshaw, aye.
Peter Hurst, aye.
Tom Claus, aye.
Ed Rippey, aye.
Shirley Green, aye.
Okay, great.
Thank you. It's a good meeting.
I think it's a record.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta turn this off. Let's see.
Right, excellent. Then, I think this is, it's 8:08. I think that was the.
That's the time it started.
I told, we recorded it. So I told Jane, don't turn it on
The
until.
Red Sox is the final game of the wild card
No,
series
it's
against the Yankees. Against the Yankees. You were a Yankee fan?
Absolutely.
Oh, you know, I used to like you.
Oh, come on, man. I thought I respected your opinions.
I used to wear my